ABC7 Eyewitness News at 7 starts streaming now.
Right now at 7, community leaders calling for a federal investigation to help find the person who sexually abused an 11-year-old girl last week on Chicago's South Side. She eventually broke free and ran away.
A 3-year-old boy is dead after a family member ran over him in a driveway in Beach Park. Police say an adult family member was moving cars in the driveway when the child rode his bicycle behind the vehicle.
Russia launched a new round of attacks on Ukraine today, killing at least 11 people and hurting dozens of others. The attack happening this morning as people were headed to work and school.
And the death toll from Hurricane Ian in Florida now stands at 125, with 3 more bodies found today in Lee County as this and the search rescue crews continue to look for victims and survivors.
Repeating events in Chicago today in observance of this Columbus Day and Indigenous Peoples Day. It's the second year that Indigenous Peoples Day is being recognized as a national holiday. We begin with that Southside Chicago community that's working together to try and track down a man suspected of attacking an 11-year-old girl.
Well, there is now a $4,000 reward being offered for information leading to the arrest in the case. The attack happening last Thursday in the Washington Park neighborhood. Ravi Baichwal talked to local leaders who are stepping forward to help find that man.
A community on the South Side is outraged tonight over what happened to an 11-year-old girl. They are demanding answers from the police. The police have not got anybody in custody, but they want their community to come together to find the culprit.
We need to stand up and call it thing what it is. Time is out for this type of behavior taking place in our community and swept under the rug.
With $2,500 of his own money adding to a pot now sitting at $4,000, Mr. Obadale and other Southside leaders hoping a reward for information that leads to the capture of this man becomes a clarion call for collective responsibility. This in the aftermath of the sexual assault of an 11-year-old girl. Andre Smith is adding $500 and he's asking questions.
That's a block and a half which safe passage workers should have been able to see her if they was out there doing what they were paid to do.
At 3:30 p.m. last Thursday, the 11-year-old girl was headed home from school when a man police say looks like this approached her from behind. He placed his hand over her mouth and pulled her into a secluded area of an alley at 62nd and Indiana and abused her. In this busy urban space, activists say this happened despite their best efforts to protect kids.
We support Fisk, Dulles, Carnegie, and Emmett Till. So we support all 4 schools to make sure that we have parents that are present in front of the schools to make sure that the kids are getting to and from inside of the building.
We need all organizations, all groups, everybody to come out and help us find this culprit.
We got over 500 people killed so far this year. 85% of people killed in Chicago are African American people. It's time for our community to unify once and for all, focus on this young lady, make sure she gets the help she needs.
We just heard from Chicago Public Schools who are promising extra resources for anybody who's affected directly by this incident, especially mental health resources. Now, as for that reward, $1,000 of it comes from State Senator Matty Hunter, making the total $4,000 right now, and they're hoping for $10,000 overall. At CPD headquarters, Ravi Baichwal, ABC7 Eyewitness News.
Ravi, thank you. Updating this breaking news in the west suburbs. Metro trains on the UP West Line are once again moving after a train hit and killed a pedestrian near the Elmhurst station. This happened before 3 this afternoon. Even though trains are moving, expect delays as that investigation continues. A 3-year-old boy is dead after he was hit and killed while riding his bike. It happened earlier today in Beach Park in the far northern suburbs. Lake County, Illinois Sheriff's Department says the boy's relative was moving a car when the child rode his bike behind them.
All signs point to this just being a horrible tragedy and a horrible accident. However, nonetheless, when somebody loses their life in a crash, our traffic crash investigations team conducts a very thorough investigation just to make sure there's no other factors involved.
That boy died at the hospital, and there's no word if anyone will face any charges.
So tragic. And now to a big shift in behavior from the defendant in the Waukesha Holiday Parade tragedy trial. The beginning of the trial last week was delayed several times due to outbursts by Darrell Brooks, who is defending himself in the case. But this morning, Brooks showed up wearing a suit and tie and apologized to the judge before the jury entered the courtroom.
I just want the court to understand it's very emotional right now, not only for just the whole situation of the trial, the families here that have to go through, everything that's going to be involved with the trial, but also my family as well and myself is very, very emotional.
When testimony began for the day, prosecutors called several witnesses to the stand and played video from the parade route. The trial is scheduled to continue tomorrow. And the new milestone for the young boy left paralyzed from the waist down after he was shot during Highland Park's 4th of July parade. Cooper Roberts returned to school today to start the 3rd grade. Roberts' parents sharing these photos of his first day with his twin brother Luke by his side. His family says his transition back to school full-time will be gradual as he continues therapy.
Eyewitness News exclusive tonight. We're hearing from a letter carrier who says she was robbed at gunpoint while on the job. And she's not alone. Chicago police are warning of an armed robber who's going after postal carriers for their master keys. Stephanie Wade has the exclusive interview.
This is happening so often now. It's on a near daily occurrence, union leaders tell me. And tonight we spoke with one woman who is sadly in this frightening position just over the weekend, robbed on the job at gunpoint.
Oh my God, my life is just gone because this is scary. This is real.
Her heart pounding, this USPS postal carrier describes what happened to her Saturday afternoon while she was delivering the mail in Humboldt Park. Fearing for her safety, we've concealed her identity.
2 guys jumped out of a vehicle and said, "Give me those keys."
2 men pointing a gun at her demanded her master keys, she says, which gives them access to all these cluster mailboxes and blue boxes in a certain zip code. Thankfully, she immediately handed the keys over, and they didn't hurt her. But the near-death experience was all too real.
It's like our lives is being threatened to go and be safe to deliver the mail.
Right now, Chicago police are looking for a suspect accused of doing the same thing. At least 5 times since August, he's approached mail carriers, armed with a gun, and demanded they hand over their set of keys. But union leader Mac Julian says it's been happening more often than that.
It's more than just one person. It's becoming widespread.
Incidents occurring almost daily all over the city, and at least 2 mail carriers were robbed in Evanston late last month.
And the domino effect is it really will impede mail service, because if our carriers are not feeling safe, they're not going to deliver the mail.
I don't know what could be done, but something has to be done. I think we need security.
Now, I did reach out to USPS for a response, asking them what they're doing to protect their workers from incidents like these. We have yet to hear back, but in the meantime, the union is working with Alderman Derek Curtis on introducing a city ordinance. It would require these cluster mailboxes to be placed inside the building, making these carriers hopefully less susceptible to crime. Reporting downtown tonight, Stephanie Wade, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Stephanie, thank you for that. Now, the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans kicking off today's Columbus Day celebrations in Chicago with a morning mass at the Shrine of Our Lady of Pompeii, and then by laying a wreath in a ceremony at Arrigo Park. The big Columbus Day parade followed hours later, making its way down State Street. Here's Sarah Schulte with the efforts to make the parade a multicultural event.
The Santa Maria, Pinta, and the Nina. Columbus Day is alive and well on State Street. The annual Chicago Parade is celebrating its 70th anniversary on a picture-perfect weather day.
It is, first of all, the most perfect day for anything but a parade. It's the best.
I just love to see all of everybody happy in this sunshine.
But it is a day where shade has been thrown on celebrations with controversy surrounding Columbus Day. Several cities opting no longer to celebrate it, favoring Indigenous Peoples Day instead. Some big-name politicians stayed out of the parade today. For Chicago's Italian-American community, the second Monday in October is about celebrating their heritage.
People have to understand that this icon is important to us, and the way any other ethnic group would want respect to their icons or their heroes or their traditions, we're just asking for the same thing.
But it's not all about Italians. Because of the controversy, the Joint Civic Committee of Italian Americans invited more than 25 other ethnic groups to participate in the parade.
We think that every nation who comes to the United States should have their own place and tradition. What they believe, it should be respected.
Costumes from Poland, the Philippines, and Mexico did not go unnoticed by spectators.
It's nice to just see everybody proud of where they came from, and I like to see that people celebrate each other and their cultures. Like, I just love it all.
And much of the parade route was lined with visitors in town from yesterday's marathon, including people from different countries who are unaware of America's Columbus Day controversy.
I have no idea. We just happened to be here and I just saw all of these bands and everything going on, and I just inquired about what was going on. I absolutely love it. It's a treat before we go home tomorrow.
Sarah Schulte, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
The Indigenous Peoples Day celebrations are continuing tonight in Chicago, and it's the second year it's being recognized as a national holiday. As Trey Ward reports, Indigenous Peoples Day emerged as an alternative to Columbus Day by Native Americans who do not believe Christopher Columbus should be celebrated.
And conflict has plagued both those holidays for years. In fact, members of the Indigenous Peoples Development Center now calling on both Mayor Lori Lightfoot to keep the Columbus statues down and city council members to recognize Indigenous Peoples Day in the city by passing an already stalled ordinance. Through the music and the native dancing is a deeply rooted history that some people say has been overshadowed by Christopher Columbus.
Indigenous people were on this land for hundreds and hundreds of years, millions of indigenous people, long before 1492.
Standing on what was once Native American land in Chicago, organizers marking this Indigenous Peoples Day with calls for change, demanding 2 Columbus statues that were taken down by the city to never return.
Because the committee that she put together informed her not to.
That committee, formed by Mayor Lori Lightfoot, made that recommendation back in August. The mayor, though, yet to make a decision on the statue's fate.
I'm really proud to be Italian American. So proud, in fact, that I know that we can choose a better hero to honor for our communities than a mass murdering slave trader.
State and city leaders also speaking out about a stalled city ordinance that would recognize the Indigenous holiday by the city, replacing Columbus Day. 49th Ward Alderwoman Maria Haddon co-sponsors the proposal.
We got Juneteenth, but why can we have Juneteenth, but we can't get Indigenous Peoples Day, right?
And Alderwoman Haddon went on to say that she hopes to have a vote on that ordinance by early next year. As for the statues, Mayor Lightfoot said that she will continue to speak to community members on both sides before making her final decision. In Rogers Park, Trey Ward, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
It was sure a beautiful day.
I know.
Sunshine.
Wow.
And it was nice.
You know, it's still the golden hour because did you see the trees changing colors and the leaves? They look golden. It was so pretty out there to see all of that, and the skies were blue. It was just a perfect Monday.
Didn't feel like October, but here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, and we might get a little more of this before it feels more like October, huh, Cheryl?
Yeah, tomorrow morning it will be nice out there, but middle of the week, big changes again on the way, and even some wet weather and rain that we're tracking. Today's high, though, 73 degrees. We started off in the 40s. Just a beautiful day. It's quiet outside right now. We have those temperatures in the 50s and 60s. Midway still at 62. O'Hare down to 59, while Keegan sitting at 53. Seeing relatively mild here as we head overnight, near 50 degrees tomorrow morning. Then we're back into the low 70s during the afternoon, but we are tracking some rain as we go into tomorrow afternoon and even into the day on Wednesday. Some rumbles of thunder here in the forecast as well. So overnight increasing clouds heading out the door tomorrow. We're dry, no big concern. Some scattered showers starting up closer to the noontime frame. We're looking at some scattered rain, especially south and east here will be the area where we're looking at most of that moisture and that rain falling throughout the day tomorrow. As we head overnight, some breaks, but then more rain and then a few storms moving in for Wednesday. And that's where we do have some showers and storms in the forecast before a big change again with our temperatures that will go tumbling down into the 50s by Thursday. It's going to be a cool end to this week. We'll cover it all. The full 7-day coming up in a bit. Back to you.
All right, Cheryl, thanks so much. Still to come, everybody, celebrating the Hispanic culture in one Chicago neighborhood as some people worry about its future.
Macy's flagship store in Chicago once again sharing some space with a popular toy store just in time for the holidays.
And the ABC 7i team with a look at what's delaying the second installment of Cook County property tax bills. We'll be right back after a short break. We were grooving to our own music here in the State Street studios during commercial break, but take a look at thousands of people are at the United Center tonight. Yes, they've got the boas and the pink hats. They are there for Harry Styles' rescheduled concert. If you remember last week on Thursday, the show was moved to tonight, just hours before showtime due to an illness with a band or crew member. Fans lining up once again for tonight's show. It gets underway in a little less than 45 minutes. The Harrys, that's what his team is called. His fans are called the Harrys.
They're dolled up.
They have a gorgeous night. They've got their boas wrapped around.
Did you see his suit?
Yeah.
He was great. I love that
Yeah,
suit.
he's
I wanna try
so
with him.
talented.
I like his music. He's good.
Just in 6 nights. He's going to be here for 6 nights.
He plays.
Of course, he's very popular. He sold out 15 nights in New York at Madison Square Garden. We got 6 nights, Harry, for you, of course.
I'm sure it'll sell out every night.
Yeah.
There's a State Street.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. Take a live look outside. We've got a lot of people who were here for the marathon over the weekend.
Still staying around for a day or two, some from out of the country.
Yeah. Hey, you guys. Yeah.
Had
from
their medals. And
everywhere. So many countries, nearly 36 countries represented, of course. And then they're walking by State Street and they're still here. They're like, we like the weather here. We're going to stick around.
Cheryl, the weather was great.
Yeah.
State Street was closed down earlier today for the parade. It was just a nice afternoon.
Perfect day. We've all got our blue sky blue on,
We're not feeling blue, but we're dressed in blue.
Yeah.
We'll have to wear gray in a couple days, if I'm not mistaken, right?
You know it. When Cheryl and I are in black or gray, it's just either we're in a bad mood or it's gloomy.
All right. Rainy days and Mondays. Not today.
No,
okay.
not
today.
It starts the week.
And a big congrats to everyone that took part in the Chicago Marathon this weekend. I mean, temperatures were so ideal. So many reaching out. And letting me know, setting their own personal record. Weather cooperated so nicely. And the weekend, we had some of our lowest temperatures in months since early April. We dropped down into the 30s on Saturday, Sunday. Our low was at 42 degrees. The average low, 42. And today's high, 73. Yesterday we were near 70. It was a little bit cooler on Saturday out there, but we are looking at an up and down trend in terms of our temperatures over the next couple of days. Temps right now, 50s to near 60 degrees. As we head into the day tomorrow, we'll start off fairly mild, 40s and 50s. And then we'll climb quickly into the 70s before things start to change. Increase the clouds, put some moisture in place, some precipitation moving through later in the day, and then our temperatures will start to go down, especially Wednesday into Thursday with a cold front that is going to just push through the region. So more chilly weather on the way. In terms of our rain chances here overnight, we're dry tomorrow morning heading out the door, pausing this 7:45, looking okay. Temps there in the 50s. It's going to be windy over the next couple of days. You can see our wind speeds up to 30 miles per hour here, gusts potentially up to about 30, 35. It's going to be windy as we head not only into the day tomorrow, but continuing into Wednesday. Scattered rain starting up in the early afternoon, and then a few waves of moisture will continue to push in, especially our southeast counties here. So from the city down to Kankakee into northwest Indiana, rain in the forecast tomorrow afternoon. We're not done yet. The system that's bringing in some cooler air will be moving in as we head into the day on Wednesday. So early Wednesday, some scattered showers and even some storms, and we continue that threat right into the afternoon on Wednesday. That front slides through, and highs on Thursday only in the 50s. All is quiet right now, but here you can see some moisture to the south. We have a front up to the north and west. That's where the cold air is locked in right now, but as that front slides to the south and east, it's going to bring in that cooler weather with it. Out ahead of it, we get the rain shower starting up tomorrow afternoon into the evening. Some moisture lingers as we head into early Wednesday. Wednesday morning, some of you hitting that rain as you head out the door, especially south and east. Here comes that front in the afternoon, and you can see a line of some showers and storms depending on where this really gets going, but some downpours, some embedded thunderstorms, and then our temperatures from the 60s down into the 50s by Thursday afternoon. It's going to be cool and breezy as we end this week. Tonight, 40s and 50s, really waking up in the low 50s for many of you tomorrow. Tomorrow's highs low to mid 70s, partly sunny early, increasing cloud showers developing late Tuesday, also very windy. Continuing that threat into Wednesday with some storms. We start to dry out on Thursday. Notice those highs only in the 50s. The weekend back to near average. Some light sprinkles on Saturday. No big rain here. Temps comfortable. And by Monday, another round of some cooler air below average temps. So again, that trend of up and down temps, that will be the case through this week. Rob, Cheryl.
Warm one tomorrow at least.
Yeah, nice. Yeah. In the morning.
We're still enjoying right now, too. I mean, Mondays are tough already, but when the sun is shining and the weather is warm,
stretch it out.
It makes it a whole lot better to start our work week together. All right, Cheryl, thank you for that. Now, as we honor Hispanic Heritage Month, we are also taking a closer look at one Chicago neighborhood that many call the center of the Mexican community in the city.
As Michelle Gallardo reports tonight, the neighborhood roots are deep, even though it's actually named after a city in Central Europe.
Pilsen. From its street vendors to its murals, to its Mexican Independence Day celebrations, this is a neighborhood that screams Mexico loud and proud, but it wasn't always this way.
Those communities in the early 20th century are predominantly Eastern and Southern European.
Pilsen is, in fact, named after a city in the Czech Republic. It is not until the 1960s the neighborhood's transformation begins in earnest. By 1970, Pilsen's Mexican population had more than doubled.
The neighborhood just whooped like that changed. And there was white flight. It was happening in cities all across the country.
As the Great Depression and then World War II left the once booming Bohemian neighborhood a shell of its former self, Mexican families started to move into the near West Side, but not yet into Pilsen itself. That is until the early 1960s, when construction of UIC's new campus left thousands in search of new homes.
Gentrification is something I understand. We're very happy where we're at. We didn't want to leave, but the rent just went sky high.
Enter Anita Villarreal, a forward-thinking Mexican-American activist and real estate agent, herself displaced, who saw, first in Pilsen and later in nearby South Lawndale, an opportunity to make money and create established communities for newly arriving immigrants. Historian Mike Amezcua delved into Villarreal's story in his recently published book, Making Mexican Chicago.
Anita taps into that kind of hustle, that dream, and begins to pitch storefronts and buildings to Mexican immigrants. Hey, wouldn't you like to build your fruteria right here on 26th Street? And alongside that kind of pitch, she also pitched housing opportunities to large Mexican families.
At 65, muralist Salvador Vega belongs to one of those first Mexican families to move into Pilsen. Today, the artist is one of many who uses the neighborhood as his canvas, telling its story through art, the good and the bad.
I am born and raised in this neighborhood since I figured my pueblo is 18th Street, Chicago.
Take this mural at 18th and Troop. Vega was just 19 when he painted this representation of David Boogie Gonzalez, a gang member turned peace activist, killed in 1973. Restoring it now is his way of reminding the neighborhood of its past and the struggles it still faces.
Those are our history. To me, the murals were a time capsule.
Art, whether on its streets or inside Harrison Park's National Museum of Mexican Art, is front and center in the telling of Pilsen's story, paying homage to its heritage, but also to the Chicano movement of the 1970s, which largely played out here.
We wanted to be in Pilsen, even though we knew it was not the oldest, it wasn't the largest, but this is the center of the Mexican community in Chicago.
And yet, the tug-of-war to keep it that way is one that has been going on for decades, as Pilsen today, while still heavily Mexican, has been extensively gentrified. Hip restaurants and cafes taking over from taquerias and panaderias as a more affluent population seeks out its prime location within a stone's throw of downtown.
By 1969, they had already created a market study analysis with architectural renderings of what Pilsen could be were they to be able to transform it and redevelop it.
So is Mexican Pilsen set to go the way of Czech Pilsen?
I think it'll still stay a majority Mexicano community, but it won't be an immigrant community anymore. That would change. That would change. And that's kind of sad.
In Pilsen, I'm Michelle Gallardo, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Optimistic, maybe that doesn't happen, but we've seen it.
Fascinating story. I mean,
there's so much history there.
Yeah, the history lessons. We were saying, wow, we didn't know that. So
did not know it was named after a European city. And I was saying earlier, for Michelle Gallardo, born and raised in Mexico City.
Yeah.
So she understands the vibrancy of the community and is a part of it, I think, because of that.
So glad she shared the story of her culture, you know, and how important it is sharing those stories and taking us on this history lesson, this history journey.
The food is phenomenal. I'm glad at the end she briefly talked about that, but then the real risk of the gentrification as communities grow. But important to talk about.
Really wonderful, Michelle. Thank you for that contribution tonight. We appreciate it. We enjoyed it, and we hope you did as well.
Ahead tonight, how you can score some deals this month. If you're ready to start your holiday shopping early, you've probably finished yours.
Yeah, no, but I have started. The fast food restaurant with the slowest drive-through, and why that might not be such a bad thing for customers.
And why the company that owns Texas Pete Hot Sauce is facing a lawsuit. This is a unique story. We'll tell you more about it in a minute.
Well, just in time for the holidays, Macy's on State Street is bringing back its Toys R Us in-store shop. It will be on the department store's 5th floor in downtown Chicago to celebrate. Macy's is hosting 9 days of events starting this Saturday that will include family-friendly activities and daily giveaways. So if you're counting how many days you have until, I'm just wondering if you knew or,
I do know. Well, so you're a Christmas baby. I know that, so I've got some time.
You probably got like 78 days, something like that.
Okay.
Something maybe 78, 80.
11 weeks. I think I've got 11 weeks. Is that right?
Not too far. I mean, Halloween's right around the corner.
I know.
Too, right? It's
there.
3 weeks from today.
It's
3 weeks from today is Halloween, so.
We'll start doing a countdown here on Christmas / your
maybe after Thanksgiving on that Monday after, maybe? Okay.
I start rolling the Christmas music.
Right. We talked about that.
I'm one of the early ones.
Me too.
I mean, I think after Halloween.
Yeah, I'm November 1. Boom. Switch over.
We will get ridiculed for that. There were people here listening to us upset.
I love it.
I'm with you. Because what do you have? You have like 60 days and then that's it.
Exactly. Because I feel like January 1st, that day, I go, no more music.
No more. You can maybe do a couple days.
Right. No,
like,
it just doesn't feel right. We've got other New Year's Day traditions like Black Eyed Peas.
We got to tap into the Christmas music catalog here for this show.
Okay. Greg, our DJ / director. Ones and twos. Monday motivation for sure. All right, well, we're talking about the big retailers like Amazon, Target, Walmart. They are getting ready to launch the holiday sales already.
One is coming this week. This is, we learned, there's a drop when it comes to how much Americans plan to spend this season, but as ABC's Becca Worley explains, it could be more discounts.
Okay.
A predicted pullback in spending from American shoppers this holiday season. It has retailers discounting products heavily and earlier.
So our expectation is, while the shopping season may start earlier with discounting, retailers are likely to respond with more aggressive discounts. And we've seen that in our data so far this year as we lead into the holiday season.
Adobe forecasts that computers will be up to 32% off. Last year, those discounts, just 10%. Toys, they say this year, 22% off. Apparel, 19% off. And appliances, 18% off.
They're extending the holiday shopping window, so shoppers can space purchases out over time.
This year, Prime members get holiday deals before anyone else.
Case in point, Amazon launching its new fall shopping event tomorrow, promoting deals on Amazon-branded electronics and products from the likes of Hasbro, KitchenAid, and Samsung. Target just this morning announcing its weekly Black Friday deals.
Start your season of savings with Target Deal Days.
Live now, spend $50 on toys, get a $10 discount. And for gadget lovers, 10% off any one tech item. Walmart also holding a Rollbacks and More sales event from October 10th to 13th, discounting items like the new Apple Watch by $50 and price slashing toys like this Lego set that's almost half off.
So it's the earlier the better,
Okay.
it seems like. If you've got your plan, strategy, the earlier
You will
the
be
better.
proud of me. I
Okay.
actually have a few items I think I'm going to get on the Prime days.
Tomorrow and Wednesday.
Yeah.
You've got it already listed. You've got your
Yeah, I got
strategy.
something
Your
for
computers
Wendy.
are ready. Ooh.
Really I am the worst.
I think I know what it is.
You'll never guess. I don't know if I told you. Well, you might
No,
have an idea.
but I
Tell me.
think.
You have found out I am the worst secret keeper on the planet.
What part of the house is this gift used in?
I'm not
See?
giving you any.
That's how come I know the
Listen,
answer. Okay.
I blame my mother for this because I can't keep a secret.
Miss Adriana.
Yeah, I can't, but my family, Wendy and the kids can, but I can't keep a secret. So there's a good chance I will tell everyone what this
Don't,
gift
do
is
not.
before
You have to have
Christmas.
some surprises in life. You've got 76 days, okay? Right. So, well, tomorrow you're going to do it. You're going to get it tomorrow. How are you going to do it and she doesn't see it?
Well, she won't open the box. It'll come.
Oh,
I
it's
don't know,
gonna
maybe
come.
it's labeled. Yeah, now you got me thinking.
It's just going to be Amazon box, but she might open it.
She won't.
Tell them to gift wrap it.
Okay.
Yeah, and then
If I do it.
then if she opens the box,
probably not.
If she opens the box by accident, she won't know what it is because it's going to be gift
Gift wrap.
and she's going to know that.
I like it.
Because I think you do have the option. So, is that Snoopy?
Yeah, here we go. Now this counts for all seasons.
Right.
Yes.
Peanuts Christmas is one of the
so good.
top traditions
I'm
for
ready,
the holiday
buddy.
season with the Christmas tree. Hey there.
All right, so let's go move on. We're thinking holidays and we're
talking
thinking
about
dinner.
food.
Did you eat dinner
Okay.
yet?
I did.
Okay, me too.
I did
So
sweet potatoes and some salmon and some sautéed apples. I'm trying to do better.
That
Remember the
sounds
story
good,
we had
yeah.
last week?
About
Oh wait, you weren't here. But it was another.
it was about sleeplessness, and that leads to chronic diseases. I am sticking my
He
foot
wasn't
in my
here, so he
mouth.
doesn't know. Yeah, but it's about your intake and outtake. But here we go.
sorry.
When it comes to fast
Thank
food
you.
restaurants,
Wasn't
you know,
just
some
came out of
are
my
faster
nose.
than others when it comes to the drive-through.
Yes, it does.
Okay.
So we ran this earlier. According to a report in QSR magazine, Taco Bell has the fastest drive-through line. Most
Really?
customers get their food in well under 4 minutes.
But how do you know that? Like,
Study.
you just go to every drive-through?
Right, that'd be a good assignment.
All right, well, Chick-fil-A has the slowest, but for good reason, though. It's also the busiest. With so many cars in line, most Chick-fil-A customers don't seem to mind the time spent in line. They gave the chain a 93% satisfaction rating for speed.
Fast food restaurant with the second slowest drive-through. McDonald's, but customers give it high marks for filling orders accurately.
See, now that's
a big
part
one.
matters to me
you get
because when
home.
you pull away and you don't have the extra pickles and your sandwich cut in half like I like.
Oh, you could just cut it at home with a knife.
No, but
you like it cut.
Yeah,
Right.
I mean, and the extra pickles.
I don't like onions, so when I get them, I got to scrape them off.
Yeah, see, that matters.
Yeah.
People listen and they execute your order properly. You're so happy because your mouth is watering about the anticipation of this delicious meal. You rarely even go to fast food.
No, I
You don't
crave
even
it.
do drive-through.
I crave it. Whenever I can, I'm there. This next story is wild. Texas Pete hot sauce is facing a lawsuit because it's not actually made in Texas. So this lawsuit claims the logo is false advertising since it references the Lone Star State. So here's the kicker. A California man filed the suit, says he never would have bought this sauce if he knew it wasn't from Texas. The parent company is based in North Carolina. He's demanding money and asking that Texas Pete change its name and logo. The company has not commented on the lawsuit. That dude.
So is it punitive damages? Like, is his life ruined because the label is different? Did it taste good?
I think I've had it. I like it. I think it's comparable to the Louisiana hot sauce, which I hope is made in Louisiana because that dude's
might
going
be his
after him.
next lawsuit.
Right?
Then,
I mean, the guys from California, you gotta have a lot of time on your hands.
And it's made in North Carolina,
Right.
the headquarters. So
it's pretty good.
I mean, and that's the name. Just like the Chicago hot dog is sold in L.A.
Sure.
But it's made in Chicago.
Right.
You know, Chicago hot.
This is the whole the logo though, and it's.
We'll follow this one to see what happens. We have to have an update.
We will. We should. We'll update you on the Texas Pete lawsuit.
Happens. Okay. All right, everybody. Still to come tonight, the second installment of the Cook County property tax bills are still not in the mail. Well, the ABC 7i team has a look at what's causing the delays and what this actually means for you.
That guy, Jason Knowles, is going to try and break it down for you. Also, why politics played a much smaller role at this year's Columbus Day Parade in Chicago.
A lot of people had the day off from work and school today for Columbus Day. It is a day first set aside to honor Christopher Columbus and his discovery of the Western Hemisphere. And later on, it transitioned into a celebration of Italian heritage. The annual Columbus Day Parade rolled right down State Street in front of our studios in Chicago this afternoon.
And there were also celebrations of Indigenous Peoples Day, first started as a way to honor Native Americans. It was also formed as a counter-celebration to view that Columbus represents the violent nature of colonialism. And while the Columbus Day Parade usually packed with politicians, that controversy and a few other factors led to a lot fewer partisan faces on the parade routes.
Here's Eyewitness News political reporter Craig Wall.
We need to stand up and call it thing what it is. Time is out for this type of behavior taking place in our community and swept under the rug.
With $2,500 of his own money adding to a pot now sitting at $4,000, Mr. Obadale and other Southside leaders hoping a reward for information that leads to the capture of this man becomes a clarion call for collective responsibility. This in the aftermath of the sexual assault.
There's the wrong package for you. We'll try and get that story up for you before we get off the air tonight at 8 o'clock. Let's go to other headlines. Crews are cleaning up vandalism on the Abraham Lincoln statue. This in Chicago's Gold Coast neighborhood. Statue on Lincoln Park West was splashed with red paint and the words, "Avenge the Dakota 38." That's in reference to the 38 men who protesters say President Lincoln ordered executed. There was also graffiti you see reading, quote, "Dethrone the colonizers." Police not made any arrests. Lincoln statues were also vandalized in other cities today.
And all lanes are back open after a shooting on the Ohio feeder ramp off the Kennedy Expressway. Illinois State Police say 3 people were shot there around 2:30 this morning. The Chicago Fire Department says all 3 people took themselves to the hospital. They are expected to be okay. An Adulton homeowner is looking for a new place to live after heavy flames and smoke engulfed his home. Several fire crews responded to the house on South Edbrook. The fire chief says it started in a bedroom and quickly spread to the attic. No one was hurt.
Website for Chicago's airport's back online tonight after the Department of Aviation confirms the Fly Chicago website went offline early this morning. Russian-speaking hackers are now claiming responsibility for knocking the site offline, along with several other airport websites across the country. No airport operations were impacted as the systems targeted do not handle air traffic control or internal airline communications. Snagged today in efforts to prevent a railroad strike that could cripple the economy and impact Chicago transit. Third largest railroad union rejected a deal with freight railroads that include BNSF and Union Pacific. Metra shares tracks with those companies own. Union president for track maintenance workers says the railroads didn't do enough to address worker concerns about the lack of paid time off, particularly sick time. On both sides will now return to the bargaining table.
And the ABC7i team tonight with the latest concerns over Cook County property tax bills and the delays in getting them out to the homeowners. Consumer investigator Jason Knowles is getting some answers for you.
The second installment bills for Cook County property taxes are usually due by August, but those bills have not even been sent to taxpayers yet. The county says they will go out by the end of the year, but what does that mean for you?
I'm still waiting on my bill. Today is my first day hearing this.
Terencia Caldwell is budgeting for her property taxes. She and other Cook County residents are still waiting for their second installment bills to arrive. They're already about 4 months late.
Where is it? It's not in my hands. It's not in my mailbox. I haven't received it.
The county says second installment bills will come before the end of the year. Then, just a few months later, the first installment of 2023 will be due. This won't impact homeowners who pay taxes as part of their mortgage, but other taxpayers will need to save and juggle their budgets. So what's going on with the delay? The Cook County Assessor's Office, which assesses the amounts due, directed the I-Team to Cook County President Preckwinkle's office. No one there would talk on camera, only saying, "We are working with all the independently elected offices in the property tax system to ensure the tax bills are sent and collected as soon as possible," adding that we remain confident that their commitment to a due date of 2022 before the end of the year will be realized. The Cook County President's office added that it will continue to support government entities which rely on the money so they can fulfill their duties to Cook County residents. Still, some taxpayers wish they had more of a break between bills.
It's kind of hard when you only have one salary, to live off of. It's going to be hard.
We asked the Cook County President's office about payment plan options for residents, a spokesperson only saying people should budget accordingly. Tax experts say if you can, you should pay the second installment by the end of the year so you can claim it on your 2022 federal income taxes and get a bigger refund. Jason Knowles, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Jason, thank you. Let's get back to ABC 7 political reporter Craig Wall and the smaller role politics played in this year's Columbus Day Parade here in Chicago.
Parades are known for drawing crowds and with them politicians looking for exposure and potential votes. But in this election season, they were few and far between today.
You have parades that have become very controversial for a variety of political reasons, and politicians don't want to alienate any part of a constituency.
Columbus Day among them, the controversy tied to protests about the treatment of Indigenous people that led Mayor Lightfoot to order Columbus statues removed. For parade organizers, there is a sense of disappointment about the politicians who are not here, particularly if it's out of concern about the controversy.
Any elected official who's not here today, I feel bad for them because they're not really standing for the people, they're kind of standing for themselves.
That's why they're staying away, then they're cowards. That's what I would say.
Mayor Lori Lightfoot, who most recently attended the Bud Billiken parade, was unavailable today, her campaign said. Governor J.B. Pritzker, who marched in the same parade along with numerous others this year, had a scheduling conflict. Darren Bailey, who has frequently called Chicago a hellhole, did march today and said his problem was not with the people here, just the crime, which he has made a key campaign issue.
I think it's an absolute shame that Governor Pritzker and Lori Lightfoot choose to diminish the accomplishments that Italians have made to our society. So, no, I want to celebrate this. This is what America's about right here.
But after the mass shooting at the July 4th parade in Highland Park, some politicians are choosing to just avoid parades altogether.
We can't allow fear to stop what our traditions are. We have to overcome. We have to show that we are willing to bounce back. Otherwise, they win.
Today, with the beautiful weather, the 70-year history of the Columbus Day Parade and those who came out to celebrate won out over fear and controversy. Craig Wall, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
Craig, thank you. Now the death toll from Hurricane Ian in Florida now stands at 125, with 3 more bodies found today in Lee County. Now, for the first time since the hurricane, people living in Fort Myers Beach were allowed back into their homes over the weekend to survey the damage and recover whatever they could. All this as search and rescue crews continue to look for victims and survivors. The Lee County Sheriff's Office releasing this video as dive teams checked submerged cars and vessels.
So far, 123 vessels and 23 vehicles have been located and searched, and thankfully, thank God, have 0 deceased inside.
And in neighboring Sarasota County, the process of reopening schools is underway. Schools in northern part of the county reopened today. Well, schools on the southern part suffered more severe damage, ranging from water damage inside to roof damage outside. There is hope, though. They can all reopen sometime next week.
Head tonight here from the University of Chicago professor who was surprised with a Nobel Prize today.
A local Nobel Prize winner is making Chicago proud tonight. Douglas Diamond is a professor at the University of Chicago Booth School of Business, and he is among 3 Americans awarded the Nobel Prize in Economic Science.
Diamond talked to our Karen Jordan today about this most prestigious honor.
Douglas Diamond takes a moment to enjoy this round of applause. It follows big news for the University of Chicago professor who found out this morning that he won the Nobel Prize in Economic Sciences. After being awakened by a phone call from Sweden, Diamond says he soon realized it was not a prank.
I did know this was the day that they announced the prize, and I thought it was probably legit, but you never know. I have some friends with good sense of humor.
Diamond shares the prize with former Federal Reserve Chair Ben Bernanke and Phil Dybvig of Washington University in St. Louis. The University of Chicago provided this video for us. The 3 economists won for a body of work that stretches back into the early 1980s. Their research delving into how bank failures worsen and extend financial disasters and how the system might be made safer in light of those risks.
A well-structured financial system is very vulnerable to the fear of fear itself, a self-fulfilling prophecy that it might go down.
These findings have proved relevant to real-world policy, with central bankers drawing on their lessons in 2020 when markets seized up at the start of the pandemic.
The banking system is actually in reasonably good shape right now, much better shape than it was before 2008.
Diamond is among dozens of University of Chicago faculty to receive a Nobel Prize. Several past winners were on hand to congratulate Diamond, including Eugene Fama, who won the prize for economics in 2013.
Maybe getting married was a little bigger, and having 4 kids, but next to that, this was the biggest thing. This is the biggest thing in your life.
The Nobel Prize comes with an award of more than $885,000 to be split equally among the 3 laureates. Diamond says he's still trying to figure out what he wants to do with his winnings, but in the meantime, it's back to work finishing up another paper. In Hyde Park, Karen Jordan, ABC 7 Eyewitness News.
True professor there, still working on it, even though he's going to split all that, almost $900,000, $300,000 among the 3 recipients.
Smart people.
I mean,
I'd
right.
love to sit with them and talk as we were
Right.
watching. Like, I wonder what they think about what the Fed is doing right now. And these brilliant minds in this city.
And they've worked on this a long time. So this wasn't some new research.
No.
But brilliant minds, speaking of that, I looked it up. 94 Nobel Prize winners come from the University of Chicago.
Wow.
I'm very proud of that school. Go Maroons.
Yeah.
My niece graduated from there, my brother-in-law too. Call him brother-in-law. So
Prize recipients.
I'm very proud of the University of Chicago Booth School, my brother-in-law, that he graduated from
Like
there.
I said,
of course.
really smart, brilliant people walking around us
See,
every day.
We need to have them on regular. We need to have the professor on to talk about like what it felt like when he actually realized that moment.
Just about
Be
his
nice.
accomplishments. And,
Right.
Yeah, that would be amazing.
And investments and just
Right.
talk about it. So,
Yeah.
all right.
Ahead tonight, cameras rolling as 2 hero bus drivers save a little girl from a carjacker. This is an incredible story.
And then we've got it for you. The karaoke competition. It is underway here in Chicago. We'll be right back. Two school bus drivers are credited for saving a toddler in Michigan after a carjacker drove off with the child inside the vehicle.
Here's ABC's Rena Roy with the rescue that was caught on video.
Frantic cries for help. This school bus flagged down after a carjacker stole a vehicle with a toddler inside. The mother approaching in tears.
So immediately I got on the phone to 911.
Quick-thinking bus driver Dave Skinner also alerting other drivers by radio. Sue Figueroa spotting the 2-year-old on the side of the road shortly after.
I just saw a little girl, a little baby around the corner standing with a blanket on.
She turns that bus around and rushes to help the child.
Come here, baby. I know.
Bringing the child onto the bus wrapped in that blanket, determined to get her home safe.
I'll bring you to your mama.
Minutes later, an emotional reunion.
Ma'am, is this your baby? He's okay. He's okay. He's okay.
It was probably about anywhere from 4 to 6 minutes that Mom didn't know, but probably the longest 4 to 6 minutes of her life.
Cars are replaceable, but I'm glad her child's home.
Police say they were able to track down the vehicle. They are still looking for the suspects, but thankfully the child was not hurt. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
A lot of people helping to get that boy or that child safe. Hope they catch that suspect. My goodness. We'll be right back. As the new citywide karaoke competition's underway, it's called Karaoke. It's called Chicago Sings Karaoke.
Well, the city organized this month-long competition to celebrate Chicago's karaoke culture. Well, the competitors hit the stage last night, sounding real good at Simone's Bar and Grill in Pilsen. Multiple bars across the city hosting events throughout the next Tuesday, October 18th, for the first round of qualifying. The finals are November 6th at the Park West.
And the winners take home $5,000 and the title of Chicago's karaoke champion. It has taken every fiber of your being to not sing, but you can dance.
Oh, they sound good as we take a look outside. Who knows? Maybe the next champion can be among this group.
Oh, these little guys.
Yeah, hi, you guys. And we've got so many people, Rob. Look at back there, marathon there. You can see. Wow. All right. It was great weather for the marathon. Everybody's thanking Cheryl Scott, of course, for sending that great, beautiful weather.
You are a champion.
Yes.
Wear your
I
medal.
was cheering so hard this weekend in that beautiful weather. But yes, congrats to everyone who took part in that phenomenal weather for the marathon. It really doesn't get better than 40s and 50s at the start. As we take a look at this week, we're looking at showers and storms starting Tuesday and a Wednesday. Temperatures dropping late week into the weekend, fairly quiet, back into the 60s. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, champion. Wear your medal proud.
Yeah, winning weather
we
for
made
sure.
it.
Yeah, Motivational Monday.
It was a good show.
Yeah, we're back outside to see everybody. See, there is a medal winner right there.
Yeah, he's got it. He's wearing it. He's taking a picture of us.
We're taking a picture of him. Hey, you guys. All right, we'll see you at 10 o'clock over on ABC 7, everybody. Have a great night. We'll see you back here tomorrow.